I'm Natalie Danganan, bringing you today's burning issues and the hottest news here on News Force.
Here are today's headlines. President Marcos set to meet Biden on sidelines of United Nations General Assembly in New York. Vice President Sara Duterte set to attend late former Japan Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's state funeral. China supports Philippines to end crimes related to Pogo. Senator Hontiveros renews warning on sugar shortage. Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation expands services, launches app to improve travel experience. Manny Pacquiao set to battle former French sparmate in Saudi exhibition match. Fair and balanced news. Comprehensive reports that will take you to the heart of the action. This is News Force.
For today's top story, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and United States President Joe Biden are set to meet on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly or UNGA in New York. Press Secretary Trixie Cruz Angeles confirmed that the meeting will be the first in-person discussions between the two leaders. The topics that are expected to discuss include mutual cooperation, trade, and direct investments. Meanwhile, specific details including the date were not provided as of publishing. President Marcos is in the U.S. right now for a 6-day trip to attend the UNGA and other engagements. In line with this, President Bongbong Marcos Jr. meets with the United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres for reiteration of the participative efforts of UN and Philippines towards global issues. Max Legaspi has the full report.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. meets with the United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres to discuss the UNPH cooperation towards existing global issues and climate action. The meeting between President Marcos Jr. and UN Secretary-General Guterres took place after the President Marcos Jr. gave his speech in the 77th UN General Assembly. The two notable leaders were said to have exchanged perspectives about the current international situation and about climate change. President Marcos Jr. also emphasized that climate change is the greatest threat that is affecting all nations across the globe. Moreover, he called out the countries who are industrialized and modernized to execute and perform their due obligations under the UN framework on climate change and the Paris Agreement. The duties and responsibilities included under the UN framework on climate change and the Paris Agreement requires that industrialized countries should cut off or lessen greenhouse gas emissions and providing an adequate financial budget to support climate adaptation plans for the betterment of each and every nation. President Marcos Jr., in reference to his utmost concern with climate change, also stated, quote, "When future generations look back, let them not ask why we did not take this opportunity to turn the tide. Why did we continue in our profligate ways until it was too late? This threat knows no borders, no social class, nor any geopolitical consideration. How we address it will be the true test of our time," he said, end quote. For Golden Nation Network, this is Max Legaspi.
A health expert from the University of the Philippines says that COVID-19 surge is unlikely to happen despite the possible easing of border restrictions in the country. Jasmine Cacho has the full details.
The Department of Health or DOH has recorded 1,886 new COVID-19 cases on September 21 and a total of 27,284 active coronavirus infections. The current nationwide COVID-19 positivity rate is slightly higher at 14.5% from 13.7% on the previous day. On the same day, regions and provinces with the most logged coronavirus infections are National Capital Region with 931, Cavite with 123, Rizal with 111, Laguna with 77, and Bulacan with 58. However, University of the Philippines Philippine General Hospital Emergency Medicine Chair Dr. Ted Herbosa said that the easing of border restrictions may pose risk, but strict compliance with minimum public health standards could prevent COVID-19 transmission. He also added that another surge in cases is unlikely, even if the government eases the country's border restrictions for foreign travelers, as the government is looking into the possibility of easing the country's border guidelines and allowing the entry of all foreigners, and the task of verifying the traveler's medical status will be given to airline companies. For Golden Nation Network, this is Jasmine Cacho.
In other news, the United States Ambassador Mark Lane Laws Carlson and European Union Ambassador to the Philippines Luc Veron paid courtesy call separately on office of the Vice President in Mandaluyong City, as Vice President Sara Duterte stands as the officer in charge. Duterte shared a Facebook post what she have discussed with the U.S. Ambassador, where Philippines' basic education programs stand as priority during the meeting. The Vice President talked about the Basic Education Development Plan, or BEDP 2030, which includes the plans improving the country's educational system. Moreover, European Union Ambassador Luc Veron expressed readiness to help the Philippines to strengthen and improve the education sector of the country. In line with this, Vice President of the Philippines and Education Secretary Sara Duterte is set to attend the state funeral of the late former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, which will be held on September 27, 2022. The Vice President has committed to attending the state funeral of the late former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe when she met with the Ambassador of Japan to the Philippines, Kazushiko Koshikawa. Vice President Sara Duterte would be giving out the heartfelt letters of condolences from her father, former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, to the Japanese government. On to a separate story. The Commission on Appointments, or CA, confirmed the nomination of Mylene Garcia Albano as the first female Philippine ambassador to Japan. Garcia Albano was a former representative of Davao City's 2nd District. Meanwhile, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano suggested that the Philippines should use the economic success of Japan as a roadmap, citing that its economic recovery after World War II. Meanwhile, Japan currently has more than 300,000 workers and migrated Filipinos, making it the Asian country with the largest overseas Filipino community. According to Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, the low pressure area, or LPA, was estimated based on all available data at 1,265 kilometers east of central Luzon. Tropical depression Carding is spotted at 1,775 kilometers northeast of extreme northern Luzon. It has a maximum sustained winds of 45 kilometers per hour near the center, gustiness of 55 kilometers per hour, and is moving northwestward at 25 kilometers per hour. Its passage in the country is expected to bring rains in northern and southern Luzon beginning late Saturday. According to the Weather Bureau, the southwest monsoon will also be affecting the western sections of central and southern Luzon. With this, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms will be seen in Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Coming up next on News Force. Japan supports Philippine economic development to attain upper middle income status. Vice President Sara reminds the public to not let hate overpower unity. China supports Philippines to end crimes related to Pogo. Stay tuned for more stories and reports when News Force returns.